Welcome in, you guys. Cowboy here. Today we're going to be going over our Stam DK bow guide. Now this is a PvP build. This is a build that is meant to maintain the bow, like ranger type ranged gameplay. RP for some of you that are interested in that. It also maintains a lot of class identity. It's pretty off meta though. Well, actually, that's not true. It was off meta, guys. The clips that you're seeing right now, I tried a stat build with this build. I was using Witch Knight and Hundings. It was not working at all. The biggest problem that we kind of faced was we have really big burst with our, when we get our dots rolling, when we get our inject on the target, we get our wield soul on the target for the debuff, and then we hit them with a snipe magnum shot. People tend to they tend to have about 20% health left. They get up, they CC break, and they dodge roll, and then we lose all momentum because all of our attacks can be dodged, and that's a really big problem. So that's the issue I was running into with a stat build, and I decided to take this a different route. We're going to be showing you guys in the PTR today. We're going to be using two proc sets that maintain the heat, they maintain the pressure, even if our target decides to try to roll away and line of sight at about 20% health. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome in. We're all about off-meta builds here, guys. I put out a new build every Friday, every Saturday-ish. Mostly PvP builds. We switch it up every month. Last month we did Templar builds. This month we're doing DK builds. Next month we'll probably do a hodgepodge of all my favorites before multi-classing gets here. But if you're interested in that, stay tuned. We also do some PvE builds, pretty off-meta stuff. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Pyrebrand is going to be the 5-piece that I recommend. I technically have 3 sets for you guys. So number 1, Pyrebrand. Number 2, Sheer Venom. Sheer Venom's kind of non-negotiable. This is a execute proc. It procs off of execute. But the proc itself does up to 100% increased damage depending on where the enemy's health is. So this is non-negotiable, guys. This is what's really going to pressure people when they are low health. And then lastly, guys, the other option that we have, if you don't want to farm Pyrebrand, because I don't want to farm Pyrebrand on the live server, I don't blame any of you guys if you don't want to go get this, Ice Furnace. And so Ice Furnace is a bit of a weird one because you don't have much frost damage on a DK, but I'll show you guys really quickly how we're going to be proccing that. So if you do want to take that route, you're going to take Wield Soul. This is going to be your Breach debuff, so make sure you guys put the Affix Breach on, take Lingering Torment, and then take Frost damage, and that is the Chilling Soul. That's what you guys want to have right there if you're taking Ice Furnace over Pyrebrand. If not, just rock with the Pyrebrand, rock with what we got when we get into the skill section. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's go ahead and knock this out. Ignore the traits and weights. We'll talk about those in a second. They are correct on this little tooltip if you see them on the way. But we'll talk about those and alternatives if you don't want to rock with what I got. But for the front bar, I'll go ahead and take these off real quick just so you guys can see them because I know my face cam is covering them. For the front bar, we're taking Black Rose Perfected Bow. This does not have to be perfected, but if you want to try to get a perfected bow, like I said, builds coming out this weekend for DK PvE, give it a go. Some of those absolutely crank in Black Rose. Love this thing. Alright. The damage over time that this 2-piece grants us is unparalleled when you talk about proc dots. It's insane. For the back bar, we're taking the Master's Perfected Bow. Now, this is one that I do recommend you get in Perfected because it's going to increase your healing, it's going to increase your damage, whatever. But basically, whenever we hit that poison arrow, which we're already hitting, oh shoot, let me equip those real quick, which we're already hitting to proc our Sheer Venom, we're just going to get an extra 330 weapon and spell damage. So, again, just by light attack and hitting Poison Inject, we're now essentially proccing 3 things on the target, increasing your weapon and spell damage, and putting a ton of pressure on them. Plus this skill itself that is also an execute. But we'll talk more about the skills when we get the skills. Anyways, moving on. Oh, it is important to mention, guys, the Black Rose Bow, if you don't crit, the damage over time ticks for about 4,000 damage per tick every 2 seconds. If you do crit with the initial hit, the Magnum shot, it ticks for about 8k per tick or every 2 seconds for up to 12 seconds. It goes off of range, so you know, the further you are away, these are kind of low because they're just raw dogged up there. We're not buffed or anything, but the further you are away, the longer that it procs for. Like that's a 12-second proc right there. 4k damage per tick. Phenomenal. Anyways, let's talk about traits really quick because I actually recorded this entire video once already and forgot to mention traits. Back bar, we're going to take defending. Okay, that way when we're on this back bar and we buff up, we're going to be 3k under the cap for resistances. I was initially taking infused here, but they have, pardon me, I gotta move just a little bit. They have reworked the way that enchants will proc. So it used to be like inject would proc your berserker enchant even after you swap bars. It doesn't do that anymore. You have to have a ground dot. Sticky dots won't proc it. So weapon sticky dots no longer proc back bar enchants, which is silly, but whatever. So defending is really the only choice here. Front bar, sharpened, again, because we can't get maces. We're a Bobo build, obviously. We don't have a lot of options for pin, and we're not using a pin set like Spriggans or Shattered Fate or anything, you know what I mean? So we're kind of cornholed into sharpened for our trait, otherwise we'll be hitting like a wet noodle. For the jewelry guys, I recommend 3 infused. You could also go bloodthirsty, but again, the issue that we're having is we get people low health and then we're unable to hit them. So I think infused is good because when you proc or when you hit those dots, they're going to be hitting as hard as they possibly can already, and then people just rot as they go. For the actual gear, we'll start with the head. I like, because we're so squishy with this build, I like reinforced for this. Could also go impin would be my secondary trait, and my third trait would be infused. For the shoulder, impin is really the only pick here. It's a medium armor set. Heavy for the head, by the way. Medium armor set, you want to go impin. Reinforced would be wasted. Infused would be wasted. For the chest, reinforced is the only option ever. Don't ever do anything else. It's going to be heavy armor as well. For the hands, these are going to be medium. You're going to take impenetrable. For the waist, you're going to take a light waist, also impenetrable. Those are the only impin for both of these. It's the only option ever. Don't do anything else. Pyrebrand legs, you could go infused, reinforced, or impin. They're all okay. Actually, I would actually just stick to infused or reinforced. Probably reinforced. For the feet, reinforced or impin also works. Your kind of target goal is about 2k crit resist, but I usually play with people, like whenever I queue into RBGs, people tend to have, what is that one set? Rallying Cry, very popular right now. So I tend to get up to about 3k crit resist without having to spec into impin most of the time. But yeah, that's all the traits for you right there. Easy peasy. That's what I recommend. Let's quickly go over skills. So starting out, we have Magnum Shot. This is what procs that Black Rose bow damage over time. I freaking love this. It doesn't hit too hard. See if we can get a crit. Hold on, let's hit all of the debuffs and buffs. Alright, that one crit. Look at that. 6.8k. Sorry, my leg's going to sleep. I'm sitting on the floor right now because I'm still working. I'm making a desk for my office. I didn't like the prices that I saw for them, and I need a custom piece for a custom fit. So, but anyways, almost 7k per tick right there. Absolutely insane for a CC to apply that level of damage over time. Next up, we have Lethal Arrow. You can take either morph here. You can take Focused Aim or Lethal Arrow. We do get about a 5% damage buff to Lethal Arrow because it is poison damage, but Focused Aim has a little bit more range to it. It puts us at 40 meters. It also procs Sundered, which is going to give us Pin, which is very, very, very precious for a Bobo build. So I personally actually think I prefer, after some testing, Focused Aim, because Sundered applies the minor breach. It also gives us 100 weapon and spell damage to that target for about 4 seconds. So again, I would take Focused Aim, but take whatever you want. For class identity's sake, like DKs are all about poison and fire. Lethal Arrow is probably the one you want to go for the RP. For the number 3 guys, this is Wield Soul. This is a scribed ability. Like I said earlier, guys, if you're taking the Ice Furnace set, you need to go Chilling Soul. But if you're not, you're gonna take the Disease script. You could also take the Fire script, because if you're fighting vampires, fire is amazing. It will switch it to a magic cost though. Disease script, lingering for the damage over time. This gives us more pressure when people decide to roll us when they're low health. And then this is our Major Breach source. So Major Breach comes from this. We don't have a Minor Breach unless you take Focused Aim. So again, do take Focused Aim. And yeah, that's that. Next up, Dragon Fire Scale. This is... I love this skill, guys. This is my favorite, like, ranged DK ability. This thing is so troll. Any kind of, like, ranged trading, ranged fighting, you're gonna rock. You're gonna be king, because this is gonna decrease the damage you take from projectiles, which is 90% of ranged abilities. And you're gonna be launching back projectiles. Maggie, hush, he's okay. You're gonna be launching back. Go lay down, baby. You're gonna be launching back projectiles that deal 5.5k flame damage. This can occur every half second, so you can actually do about 10k damage per second, 11k damage per second. Maggie, go lay down. Damage per second with this ability in, like, return fire. Oh my goodness, you are a menace, girl. Go lay down. 10 out of 10 ability. If you don't have this, you're actively throwing. Don't take the other morph. We'll talk about skills in the back bar for what that provides. But this one's kind of a flex spot. Vault, I thought, was a really cool skill if you're here for the RP. Really cool skill. In practicality, in all my testing, I probably used Vault like twice. In a practical sense. Sorry, I had to reposition there. I think you guys should take Flames of Oblivion personally if you want to get more into the DK identity than the ranged roleplay. Reason being, you can kind of time this up. All right, so check this out. You got all your dots rolling. You can wait till see how that fireball shot out right there. Hit the combo. So you hit your snipe, hit your magnum shot. Right as that fireball right there shoots out. Takes a little bit to get the timing down. You can always do it on the last tick because your bar counter will show you. So 1 snipe, 2 snipe, this one should do it. Bam. I was a little bit off with it, but you guys get the point. I'm not good at it. I'm a terrible player. I just make good builds. That's what I'm here for. Be better than me. Line that up. You're going to be bursting the absolute living dookie out of everybody. So do that. For the ultimate, guys, Ballista. I really like this one. There's 2 options. Either one works. The Toxic Barrage is really strong if you're able to just sit in the back of a group and spam it. If people line of sight it, though, you're kind of hosed. And I don't like it because it makes us unable to take actions. It's just a lot of damage, but if you're not playing against like new players, a ton of damage by itself isn't going to kill anybody. You need to be able to combo it with CC. So what I like to do is, again, get your dot rolling, inject, whatever, make sure you're all buffed up, drop your ballista, and then hit that snipe into the magnum shot. And that's gonna do a lot of big damage, CC somebody, and you're gonna have that ult pressure pumping them. Really good combo. Anyways, for the back bar, guys, Poison Inject, again, bread and butter. This is an execute by itself. This also procs our Sheer Venom. They're both executes. Now you have 2 execute dots ticking on somebody. They're going to deal more and more damage the lower the target's HP is. It's good. It's good. It's cooks. It's good. It's bread and butter, this build. Resolving Vigor, guys, this is our minor resolve buff, last 20 seconds. It's also a really strong heal over time for the first 5 that you activate it. I think everybody knows what Vigor does. If you don't have Vigor, you're throwing. Coag, you could take Green Dragon's Blood or Coag. I personally prefer Coag. Just because of that extra 50% healing. I hate to have to wait till my health is stupid low to be able to get any kind of decent healing, especially on a more squishy build. I like this one because it just lets us top off whenever we want to top off. But Do whatever you prefer. If you're like a PvE tank, you're probably more used to Green Dragon's Blood. That's fine. Race Against Time. This is going to be minor force. This is going to give us 10% more crit damage. We actually have relatively good crit chance, I think. Relatively good crit chance. For PvP anyways. So if we do manage to crit, which is 30% of the time, you will be hitting really big numbers. It's good, but the real reason we're using this, guys, is it gives us major expedition and makes us CC immune for about 4 seconds. So this, when you start to get pressured, you can hit your vault if you're in a vault in the front bar. If not, just hit a dodge roll, hit that, start taking off, hit that, reapply the snare immunity, and start kiting people. Just get behind objects, rebuff, stay behind objects, keep kiting. Whatever you want to do. That's what makes us so zoomy. Impossible to slow down. Lets us get out of really sticky situations. Hardened armor. This is going to be our major resolve buff. We take the shield morph, the one that gives us a damage shield. This has saved my life more than I care to count, because when you have to go to rebuff this, because you don't want to be getting focused and have your buff fall off and then have to reapply it and it be a wasted skill. That damage shield that it provides, it's not the most, but it makes a bit of a difference. So I do really enjoy this as opposed to the other morph, which you have to be kind of melee for anyways to really get the use of. This is just a better pick here. And then for ultimate, guys, corrosive armor. I don't know what to say here. It's probably one of the best ultimates in the game. They did nerf it. They used to apply to damage over time effects as well. It also used to apply. You could generate ult while this was active. You can't do either of those now. It only affects damage over time, but the cool thing about that is the damage that is scaled from the Black Rose bow, that 2.7k right there. If you have the full armor pin, when you hit that magnum shot, it'll hit much harder, which will cause the resulting damage over time to also ignore the penetration. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but you guys hopefully get what I'm saying here. And yeah, that's that. It scales incoming damage down to 3% of your max health. We should be sitting around, so we use joules, 26k. I feel like that's low. I would actually take some points out. I'd get this to about 28k. That's what you should shoot for here. I feel like I had it higher, but I don't know what I was doing here. I was doing something weird. But yeah, 28k is the goal. 28k to 30k HP. And that all means, so when your corrosive's active, if somebody's like a Sork hits you with Crystal Frag, it's only going to hit you for about 1,000 damage, even if it was going to hit you for 15k damage, right? Same thing, Dawnbreaker, they hit you with a Dawnbreaker, it's only going to hit you for 1,000 damage versus the 15 that it might hit you for. It's going to save your life from really bursty classes, but could absolutely get you killed versus dot classes. It's going to do nothing. You're going to think it does a lot more than it does. It does, though, provide that really big armor debuff, or armor pin, which makes your snipe hit really, really, really hard. So do note, guys, when you're fighting a tankier target, use corrosive instead of ballista. If you're using squishies, or you're fighting squishies, or you're 1vxing, well, if you're fighting squishies, use ballista. If you're 1vxing, still probably rock corrosive. That way you can have some time to go offensive, kill somebody, and still not have to worry about your health too much. I don't really want to touch passives. Those are pretty easy to figure out. Take all the bow passives, take all the armor passives, take pretty much all the DK passives other than Mountain Blessing and Helping Hands. These two you won't proc, so don't worry about those. But take everything else in the DK tree. Make sure you guys get the Undaunted passive. A lot of people forget about this, but that is 4 to 6% extra max health, stam, and mag that you don't want to miss out on. And then another really important one to note, Combat Frenzy. DK sustains off of their ultimate. That's why we're not rocking any sustain sets or really any sustain jewelry or Munduses or anything else. And if it wasn't clear, guys, we were using the Lover Mundus. Okay, I don't know where you see that right here. The Lover Mundus to get that pen. But sustain comes from ultimate, so Combat Frenzy is very important to have. And then if you're doing open world with this build, guys, Combat Medic will help you if you're defending a keep. So another one that gets often overlooked. In terms of race, Wood Elf is my top pick because, again, Pin is so hard to come by with a Bobo build. We want that Pin. Movement speed's pretty nice. Stam recovery is really nice. And then max stam is really nice. But Orc is probably my number 2 pick. My number 3 pick would be Nord. But it's not... Race is not so impactful with this build that you need to switch for it. So don't stress that too much. Do whatever you can do here. And then CP, I haven't really touched it, but... because this is a BG monster build, this is not something that we're going to be really taking to open world. But if you want to take it open world, Slippery. If you don't have Slippery in CP PvP, you're gimping yourself so bad. This makes 1/3 of your crowd control breaks free, which really, in the end, is so good for your stamina. You also need to be taking Expert Evasion. Every 30 seconds, you're going to get a free dodge roll. For any class that does not have a purge, always take Pain's Refuge. Go ahead and put that in. And then, you know, you can kind of do whatever you want to do there for this last one. Hardened is really cool because this throws off people's like CC timers. That people like to spam you on cooldown for CCs. This kind of helps with that. But personally, I'm going to take Rejuvenated here. Or I would take Fortified here for our 4th. Because we are under armor cap, so Fortified would be really good. Or Rejuvenated would also be really good for helping sustain. If you're good on sustain, don't worry about it. Just take Fortified. Either works. You do want to keep up that... go ahead and confirm that. You want to keep up these wings every 6 seconds, and these can be kind of expensive, so that's why I tend to run the Jewels of Misrule. And the Rejuvenated will help with that as well. But do whatever you want to do there. For the Blue Tree guys, sorry, mustache is killing me today. It's trying to climb up into my nose. Start here. We're going to rock over here, get that free pen, get that free Force of Nature pen, because again, pen is so hard to come by for us. Don't take Exploiter. I don't really have an off-balance source. Make sure you guys get these passives right here. These are very important. All of them. You can increase single target damage because the majority of what we're doing is single target. You can do damage over time. And you can do direct damage. It's probably the easiest like CP route you'll ever take. If you wanted to, you could also go Wrathful Strikes would be a really good one. You could go Untamed Aggression, or if you wanted to go defensive, you could take some of the ones in that tree or any of these 3 right here. All very good options. And I'm not even going to touch on Green Tree, but yeah, let's keep it short, guys. GG's, easy peasy. Again, shoot for 28 to 30k health. And yeah, have fun with it. I enjoyed making this. I got really frustrated with the stat build, but the amount of proc damage that we're putting out here, the amount of damage over time is just mental, and it pairs really well with the burstiness of snipe. And then again, if there's any like if somebody's trying to pressure you from range, Dragonfire Scale is the most troll ability, especially when you combo that with the Flames of Oblivion. You got all this pressure, you got all this mitigation, and you've got all this return fire. It's just you're gonna win every single range fight. But anyways, GG's guys. 24 minutes, not bad time for me. Usually my videos run late, but I appreciate you guys watching. If you made it this far, let me know what you guys want to see down below. I believe somebody mentioned a healing DK. I'll probably be doing that for next week's video. And then again, after that, guys, so subclassing got confirmed. I'll probably be doing, over the next month, just like my favorite builds that I've been enjoying lately, that are not limited to, like, Necro all next month, or Warden all next month. I'll just do, like, I'm going to be doing a Necro Bash build, excuse me, Stamsork, like, Bonk build, And I don't really know what else. Probably some Templar stuff because I was really enjoying the Templar. But anyways, guys, GG's 25 minutes. Let's end it here.